a revolutionary change is underway. It is something that is being caused as we did not ask for it. In fact, it is something that most of us have dreaded for a long time. I'm noticing a trend, and I don't know if there is anyone else out there who is discussing this, but I've been noticing something happening slowly in front of us, under our noses. I can tell you, when that mark of the beast comes, people are going to take that mark faster than anything you've ever seen. You know how I know this? Because I can see it in people. I can see it in the public. And I can see it in our leaders. The mainstream news is strange, isn't it? But people believe the news. Just like they trust the government these days. They do. Since when did anyone ever trust the government? When did this happen? All of a sudden, people trust the government. This is what I don't understand. Since when did people start putting their faith in the government? Is it the virus that's doing it? Is it making people stupid? The restrictions that the evil elite have planned out for us has begun. We are in it. And the ultimate plan here is to leave us all hanging. See, most people think that they are trying to kill us off. They are trying to depopulate. But I want to remind you of the Georgia Guidestones. Those stones are for people to find later. Let me put it to you this way. Those stones are there for people who have resurfaced.
I switched from State Farm because of this site. They had me paying $163 a month for my new car, and I got a rate for just $86. Full cover.
Hasn't anyone ever heard of the saying, the house always wins? Look at what's happening right now in terms of politics. They are showing you who really runs the country, aren't they? Speaking of which, we are seeing a purge of voices on certain platforms. Not only are we dealing with that, but we are dealing with many restrictions outside of the internet as well, aren't we? You are restricted from where you can go. You are restricted from who you can see. You are restricted from who you can touch. You are restricted from what you can watch on TV and where you can watch it. You are restricted from what business you can open. You are restricted from which online platform you can run a business on. You are restricted from what you can say. You are restricted from what you can buy. One item per person, right? You are restricted from what you can sell. Hell, I would even say you are restricted in how much money you make. You are restricted from showing your face in public. Restrictions, restrictions, restrictions. This is the trend I have been noticing. And many of these restrictions come with the illusion of choice, but you are really limited to a few options. For years, many years now, many of us have been under the impression that the powers that be want to control every aspect of our lives. And they ultimately want to depopulate the world and usher in a new world order, right? Let me ask you all a question. How long have people been saying that? Really, how long? Why haven't they done it yet? How come they haven't gotten rid of us already? Where is this new world order? What happened to the microchipping? Now, I'm not saying that these things won't happen in some form or another. What I'm saying is, what are they waiting for? These nefarious plans of the evil elites, they certainly are taking their sweet time, aren't they? So if they are not going to go ahead and execute these dark plans, what's happening really? Remember I said that the people in power, they have several tracks they can go down to get to an end goal? Well, what if I told you that they are not going to depopulate? What if I told you that they are not going to put martial law into effect nationwide? They're not even going to try and take away your weapons. You know why? Because they know that you're going to need them. Unless you believe in the Word of God, then you really won't need them, you see. And the reason they are not going to do these things is because they ultimately plan to leave us all hanging. It's not going to be like in the movies where everybody is storming the gates to these facilities. You may know where a facility is, but you won't know where the entrance is. The entrances to these bases could be miles and miles away from the actual base itself. And you're not going to know when they start bringing occupants in, if they haven't started already. Because realistically, trying to get everyone they want in there at one time at the last minute is impossible. And this has to be a multi-year effort. They're going to, or attempt to, leave us all on the surface to deal with whatever is coming. Now, I wouldn't discuss this if this was just Bible prophecy and there was nothing going on today to back up that prophecy. But it's happening right before our eyes. More restrictions are coming. Count on them. That is a major sign, restrictions. I understand that there's a virus going around and there have been stalls in the manufacturing and distribution of many products. Certain services have been disrupted, and it feels like the idea of supply and demand is disappearing. You know, the other day I went to the grocery store and I wanted to buy some Ziploc freezer bags. So I grabbed a couple of boxes and go to the self-checkout. I run my Ziploc bags across the scanner and there's an error. An associate will be with you shortly, right? So the associate comes over and she swipes her badge because she is not even sure why this happened. Then she says, oh, this product is limited to one per customer. Mind you, there are boxes and boxes of Ziploc bags on the shelf. First of all, how is there a shortage of Ziploc bags? What's up, Hefty? It's literally a cardboard box with plastic sheets inside. There ain't no electronics in there. I mean, how come? Next, they'll be telling you how many kids you can have. Yep, Hefty bags today, kids tomorrow. You know why I make a big deal out of that? Because now there are restrictions on your purchasing power. What if I wanted to use my purchasing power against a company like Hefty? I can't now. They've done that for me. Do you see what's happening, folks? This is conditioning. They want you to get used to this way of life for some reason. Wait till the bans come. You complain about their business or doing business with a company and they're like, you know what? I don't want your business either. As a matter of fact, you're banned. That's what's going to happen all across the country. You're banned. But let me get serious. Sometimes I'm just teasing and having fun. But this is important. This is what I meant when I said that we can't let these things slip by us. And this is how I know that most people are going to take that mark, knowing damn well what it means. You're going to be caused to take it. And it is concerning because it makes you question your strength. So here we are in 2021, and more restrictions are coming. They're always going to make more laws faster than they get rid of them. Listen, they sit down at meetings and they say something like, look, we need to have everyone wearing masks right now. Not just because of a virus, but because something else is coming. And when it comes, people won't have time to get their hands on any mask unless they already have them. You're not going to be able to order them, they won't be shipped, and they won't be in stores. By the way, at this point, if you haven't already, I highly recommend investing in a full mask. I'm doing the research on these, and I'll get that information over to you all shortly.
Hey guys, can you believe it? That was on me billions of dollars and only paid zero in tax?
I see right now big tech is getting a lot of attention. They are doing things that many find disagreeable. And they only have this power because of us. I hear it all the time. It's not right. They shouldn't do that. It's censorship. It's unconstitutional. And you're right. Nor should you continue to support, use, or endorse something that you do not like. I don't care about censorship. You can censor me, the information still gets out. But it's not about information, is it? It's about competing information. We are having InfoWars right now. Isn't that crazy? InfoWars. We are fighting for the right to share information. Think about it. This company that was recently dropped from a very large platform's services, they weren't dropped because of censorship. They were dropped for having competing information with another well-established platform. Do you see? Do you know right now there is this VR headset, right? A virtual reality headset for the PC, the Oculus. You have to have a Facebook account to use it. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is something many of you are not that interested in, so the restrictions on it slip by you. You think they are going to stop with VR headsets? The truth is, no matter what these companies do to others, there are so many people that are still going to engage in their services. Is it really the company's fault that everyone and their mama jumped onto a certain platform, effectively turning that platform into a utility? Now, the topic of this presentation is mass conditioning, and this is mainly to get you to start becoming more aware of your surroundings. Start keeping track of any new restrictions that you may encounter in your day-to-day life from this point on. And as you see things around you get tighter and tighter, make sure you have gathered all the supplies you need. We have to become more self-reliant right now. Do you really want to have to go to a scalper for toilet paper at $25 a roll? People were resistant at first, but more and more people are getting used to the idea of social distancing. It's almost second nature, just like the mask. Habits are forming. People are starting to do things out of habit now, without even thinking about it. Now, I'm not out that much, so I'm still adjusting to many of these changes. Besides, it's not that interesting seeing a bunch of faceless people. And what type of psychological effect does seeing everyone having their face covered all the time have on a person? Do people seem less significant? Do they all seem to be lacking character? I gotta tell you, I do not like not being able to see if a person is smiling or frowning. I gotta go by the cheeks and the eyes. Eyeballs hanging out. What's the point of mask with your eyeballs hanging out? But you see, the authorities know that. That's one of the ways I know that this mask campaign is not just because of a virus. It's about conditioning. And I really hope I am wrong. I want to read you some reader's notes on Hypnopedia, as described in the 1932 novel by Aldous Huxley, Brave New World. What is Hypnopedia teaching in Brave New World? Hypnopedia, or sleep teaching, is a way that the governing bodies in Brave New World teach children about morality and class distinctions. And to impart information into a child, speakers placed next to the child repeat slogans and messages while they sleep in order to ingrain those messages in the child's memory. These messages promote societal ideas regarding class roles and proper behavior regarding sex and conformity. While at the Central London Hatchery and Conditioning Center, the students, accompanied by the director, were being taken around the institution so that they could observe how the people were produced and trained. The students got to learn about the Volkanovsky process, which standardized the gammas, deltas, and epsilons by forming 96 identical twins from a single egg of each group. We condition them to thrive on heat, concluded Mr. Foster. Our colleagues upstairs will teach them to love it. The students proceeded to nurseries, neo-Pavlovian conditioning rooms, It was here they learned of hypnopedia, or sleep teaching. The DHC told them a story of how Reuben, a young boy in the past, was able to repeat information he had heard from the radio when he was asleep. In the New World, it was practiced when the babies heard a particular piece of information that was repeated over speakers positioned close to their cots as they slept. The purpose was to embed this information in their memory. Alpha children were gray. They work much harder than we do because they're so frightfully clever. I'm really awfully glad I'm a beta because I don't work so hard. And then we are much better than the gammas and deltas. Gammas are stupid. They all wear green, and delta children wear khaki. Oh no, I don't want to play with delta children. And epsilons are still worse. They're too stupid to be able. This information was repeated to the sleeping beta babies so that they recognize their station in life and grow to accept it as the best. This wasn't a bad take on a future that we are living today. It makes you consider the type of programming we all have been engaging in over the years, not to mention our children. There is more to discuss and more madness to come as we move forward into this new year.